The first text came late that night when I was still at work, a strange knot of unease already tightening in my chest. Don't come tonight. I need space. I read it over and over, staring at the screen as if repetition could make it disappear. My hands shook. Space? Tonight? We had plans, a night we had been looking forward to for weeks, the company's annual celebration. The thought of her rejecting me on that night sent a cold jolt through me. By the time I arrived at the party, the hall was alive with chatter, laughter, the clinking of glasses. I scanned the crowd, searching for her familiar face. And then I saw it. She was talking to someone. Leaning in close, her laugh full and effortless, the smile on her face lighting up a corner of the room. I felt something inside me snap, but I kept walking forward, telling myself I was imagining it. When I reached her, I tried to catch her eye, but she looked away. I reached for her hand, quietly, hoping for even a fleeting connection. She pulled back. Not tonight, she whispered, eyes avoiding mine. The words hit me harder than I expected. Not a joke. Not a playful tease. Rejection. Cold, deliberate. I left her there and wandered through the crowd, trying to make sense of it all. Had I done something wrong? Was it me? The doubt started quietly, then snowballed. Missed calls, hidden smiles at her phone, sudden excuses about work, vague texts she typed with a delay, as if rehearsing every word. Each small sign made my chest tighter. Each laughter she shared without me felt like a reminder that the person I loved was slipping away. That night I replayed every memory in my head, searching for clues. The dinners she had insisted weren't important, the late-night messages she quickly hid, the way she sometimes seemed distant even when we were together. Were they warnings I ignored? Or signs I hadn't recognized until it was too late? I questioned myself first. Was I too controlling, too distant, too predictable? Then the truth became harder to deny. She was hiding something. Something I couldn't yet name. But the weight of it pressed down on me like a storm about to break. Weeks later, the confirmation arrived. Not in a dramatic confrontation, but in the cold, clinical clarity of evidence. I found texts she had forgotten to delete, conversations that proved my worst fears. She had been seeing someone else, someone at work. The betrayal wasn't cinematic. It was quiet, insidious, like poison in a cup I had been drinking from unknowingly. Each message cut deeper. Each photo she left open on her laptop made my stomach churn. The memories I thought were ours alone, quiet mornings, whispered jokes, weekend plans, now felt like rehearsals for a life I wasn't allowed to live. I confronted her the next evening. She didn't deny it. Her eyes filled with guilt, her voice soft. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she said. I didn't want to hurt you. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something, to demand she feel the pain she had caused. And yet, beneath the fury there was still love, a love that had been tangled with trust, now frayed and knotted beyond repair. I can't stay, I said, the words barely audible but precise. I can't pretend this never happened. I can't pretend that nothing's changed. The following months were a blur of quiet reflection. I pulled away from her slowly, not in anger but in a desperate bid to reclaim myself. I spent nights walking alone, revisiting old hobbies, speaking with friends I had neglected. Each small act of self-rediscovery reminded me that I was more than my heartbreak, more than the betrayal I endured. Memories that once stung, her smile, the warmth of her hand in mine, now served as lessons. The love we shared hadn't been worthless. It had simply reached its expiration in a way neither of us could control. A year later, I attended a wedding of a mutual friend. The moment she saw me, I noticed the shock. Her eyes widened, her hand paused mid-laugh. I stood taller, feeling a calm strength that hadn't existed at that same party. A year ago. She approached, tentative, as if testing the ground. You look different, she said, a nervous smile tugging at her lips. I nodded, the old pain surfacing briefly, then fading into quiet resolve. I've been working on myself, I replied. It's been a long year. She looked at me, searching for something. Apology, explanation, perhaps the man she remembered. But all I could offer was honesty. I had survived. I had healed. I had grown. I didn't need her validation anymore. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded again, gently, like a man acknowledging a storm past but no longer threatened by it. I know, I said. But it's over. And that's okay. Walking away, I felt a strange lightness. The party buzzed around me, full of laughter and music, but I moved through it with calm certainty. A year ago, I had been rejected, abandoned in a crowd, humiliated by love that had turned bitter. Today I was free, not from love, but from the chains of betrayal and doubt that had weighed me down. That night, the closure wasn't loud or dramatic. It wasn't a confrontation or a declaration. It was quiet, intimate, a personal victory. I realized that betrayal teaches you more than anger ever could. It teaches you to value yourself, to recognize your worth, to rebuild from the ashes of what once was. The woman who had rejected me that night no longer had power over my heart. And in that realization, I found a strength I hadn't known existed. A quiet, unshakable peace, and the ability to face the future with my head held high. Sometimes the most satisfying victories aren't in revenge, but in the calm knowledge that you've survived, learned, and grown beyond the pain that once consumed you. And in that quiet, unspoken triumph, I finally let myself smile.